Vaibhav Sooryavansh's heroics hand India's sixth U19 World Cup title. An extraordinary innings from Vaibhav Sooryavanshi was the centerpiece of India's record-extending sixth Under-19 World Cup triumph as they beat England by 100 runs in the final in Harare on Friday, February 6. Sooryavanshi put on a never-seen-before display at this level by hammering a mind-boggling 75 that came off just 80 balls and broke a plethora of records en route. While Caleb Falconer 115 off 67 came up with a fighting 100 of his own in the run chase, India still had the game under their control for the large parts before eventually coming out on top. India lost their semi-final hero Aaron George very early in the fourth over when he hit one straight to backward point. But what followed over the next 20-odd overs was nothing short of a spectacle. Sooryavanshi, who was batting on 15 off 17 at one point, got himself going when he took 18 runs off an over from James Minto. Ayush Maitre wasn't left far behind as well at the other end, as he continued to deal with boundaries that pushed England back very early. Sooryavanshi brought up his fourth 50-plus score off just 32 balls, but England were yet to feel the actual wrath. He hammered back-to-back sixes off Farhan Ahmed and targeted the bowler again for 3 sixes and a 4 in a single over to race to 96 in no time. While Maitre departed immediately after going past 50, Sooryavanshi eventually got to 3 figures by the end of the 20th over. England then had no clue what hit them as the 14-year-old went berserk and collected 4 fours and 4 sixes over the next 12 deliveries. In no time, he went past 150 and looked well set for the next landmark. A 21-run over took him to 135 at the halfway mark, and India's total swelled to 250. All hell had broken loose by then. Sky appeared to be the limit for the Indian side, and for their young prodigy with another 25 overs still left in the contest. In a massive sigh of relief for England, Sooryavanshi was sent packing in the very next over, after which they started to limit the damage. Vedant Trivedi and Vahan Malhotra guided their side to 302 for 3 by the end of the 34th over, but once Minto removed both the set batters, England were able to regroup. If 250 came from the first 25 overs, only 69 were scored from the next 15. Abidin Kundu looked in great touch, however, and took on Manny Lumsden for 19 in an over, but his departure gave England some hope of keeping India below the dreaded 400-run mark. More wickets fell over the next few overs, but Kanish Chauhan hit 2 fours and a 6 in the 50th over to push India beyond 400, a total never seen before in an under-19 knockout fixture. England didn't go all guns blazing despite the daunting score in front of them. In fact, their openers played out a maiden each to kickstart proceedings. The first run came off the 14th delivery and the first boundary in the 4th over. That was immediately followed by 2 more boundaries, but Joseph Moores was stopped immediately before he could carry on the good work. Ben Dawkins creamed Henal Patel for 4 boundaries in an over to finally get going, as he was batting on 5 off 19 at one stage. Ben Mays welcomed Keelan Patel into the attack with a 14-run over, as England finally positioned themselves up for the big chase. However, just when they were finding their feet, India struck by getting rid of Mays for 45 to an attempted reverse sweep. Even though Thomas Rue wasted little time to get himself in and raced to 31 off just 17, he played one shot too many that led to his downfall as well, but could also be considered a touch unfortunate. He smashed Chauhan flat, but straight to Maitre at Excalibur. However, more boundaries followed as England knocked off 171 runs from the first 20 overs, but the loss of 3 wickets always kept them edgy. The contest was then completely done and dusted over the next 2 overs. Any little hope England had vaporized in a matter of 12 deliveries, as England lost 4 wickets in stunning fashion to pretty much throw in the towel. Maitre brought himself into the attack and picked up a wicket, which was followed by a run-out 2 balls later, and then in the very next over, Deep Devendran struck twice to cripple England and reduced them to 17. Falconer and Minto delayed the inevitable and even briefly caused a flutter with a 92-run stand for the 8th wicket. However, once the partnership was broken, India wrapped things up after Falconer rewarded himself with an excellent ton. Brief scores India 419 in 50 overs. Vaibhav Sooryavanshi 755, Ayush Maitre 53, James Minto 363 beat England 311 in 40. 2 overs Caleb Falconer 115, Ben Dawkins 66, RS Ambrish 356 by 100 runs.